Hello everyone. Hello, please feel free to put in the chat where you're joining from. What are you smoking, eating, dabbing, anything topical you're putting on? I'm currently rolling myself a joint, so it's gonna be very tasty. I have one of my friend who did his own cross, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm myself in Vancouver, so feel free to put in the chat where you are and what you smoking, talking, eating on. Eitan, are you smoking something at the moment?
Yeah, buddy. So I know that this is a QWEST presentation, but I got that general admission blinker in my hands. Been puffing on the 5 Loko specifically, has been my go-to for a little while. Been vibing with that one. The Peach Riz is quite killer too, but like this 5 Loko, it's like dark cherries and lime, and it's so delicious.
Nice. And especially in these days where it's cold outside, it's very convenient. A little puff inside, it doesn't smell much.
That's a good point, eh? Like leading into the winter time, vapes are a perfect, a great indoor tool. I personally don't really like to combust, like to smoke inside. I can't. I've got a little baby, so no smoking indoors, but like a little vape, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in a different room, a little vape doesn't hurt, it's very easy to...
I should have specified, yes, Axel, goes without saying, in a whole different part of the house. I probably still blowed out the window.
And I trust your safety. I know you're very responsible.
Thanks, buddy.
And everyone in the chat, yes, Eitan just came back from a paternity leave. He actually just got his first baby, so big congrats, and it's amazing.
Thanks,
All
buddy.
the best for the family. By the way,
I appreciate that very much. I may or may not have a slide where I introduce her properly.
That's awesome. I knew you would do that.
I never thought, honestly, before I had a kid, I was like, oh, like how dorky that people like share pictures of their children everywhere, and now I'm that guy. I'm all excited and proud of her.
you can't understand that feeling until you have a kid. I think that's the
way. Totally. Best thing I've ever done.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
I love it. We see people from Etobicoke and from Edmonton.
All over the place.
En français, Casey. Strathroy. Niagara here. What's up? Smoking some grapes and cream. Delightful.
Oh, Leslie. What's up, Leslie? All right.
Honoré, smoking on some Kush cake from Carmel. Delightful.
All right.
I love it. What a crew. Beautiful.
And I just finished rolling my joint, so I guess it is time to start the session for us. Thank you everyone for joining. We have another very exciting session today. We are joined by, of course, Casey, Budtenders Association right there, and also Eitan. I'm gonna leave you the mic, Casey, if you want to present yourself, and then Eitan, please, if you want, take over.
Oh. Thank you, Axel. I'm so excited for this session and to be back with Eitan, who brings all the knowledge all the time. Thank you everyone for joining. It's so good to see you. And let's do this. Let's learn. I'm waiting for my cannabis to be delivered right now, so I'm not smoking on anything just yet. But hopefully.
Oh yeah. Please tell us where you are right now, Casey.
I am dialing in from Mexico.
Amazing. She's lucky under the sun right now. All right. And
if Casey steps away from the camera for a minute and then comes back, hopefully you'll have a big bag in front of you. You get to roll one up. So that's what's going on. If Casey's off camera for a minute, you know where she went.
Exactly. And so then we have you, Eitan. Please go ahead, present yourself.
Amazing, my friends. What a treat, what an honor, what a pleasure, what a privilege to be back here hanging out with you all. I'm excited. I get to share some information. We get to award some delightful prizes. I put together a dope prize kit, a few prize kits. We've got 3 grand prizes, 6 educational material prizes, let's call it, to be formal. But here I am. I might just jump right into the presentation. I got a slide that like introduces me properly, tell you some stories. Let's talk about some flower. Let's have a good time. So I hope everyone's got the thing that they're token on, or if you are hanging out without any cannabis tonight, all the power as well. I get to be here on behalf of Decibel Cannabis, hanging out with my good buddies at the Budtenders Association, the BTA, and I got to talk about QWEST today. So let me get right into it. I always like to start these kinds of things with a little recap, a little bit about me. I've said this once or twice before. Obviously, there's a lot of great product on this market, but even more prevalent, more important are all the good people that fulfill this community. We call it an industry or whatever, but I feel tight with it. I feel the network is alive and well. I feel the community is here, and it's really exciting to be a part of. So with that said, my story, I'll try to keep it brief, but I usually get into it a little bit. But I was that guy back in high school who hooked up my friends, and I really took a lot of pride in doing so. I may have gotten in trouble once or twice with the principal because of it, but there's nothing that brought me more joy than like hooking a friend up, coming back the next day, and them telling me how amazing that was. That, again, since I was 15 or 16, that brought me a lot of joy. Fast forward a little bit, I went to the University of Guelph, ended up getting a job at a compassion club. This is about 13 years ago, so very much the gray area of cannabis at the time. But I was working at a compassion club dispensing medicine. I can say that's what we were calling it, dispensing medicine to patients, consulting about symptom relief and all that good stuff. And sadly, that place was raided by the police a few short months after I got started there. So myself, the owner, the manager, we're all kind of snatched up with it. Spent the night in the cop shop in the basement there. Crazy, gnarly, terrible experience that I never thought I would experience. Very well aware of my privilege and how I was treated there, and that a lot of people have had it and still have it way worse than I did. But that was still a very scary experience for me, and ended up making bail the next day, but spent 2.5 years through the court system, every month going for some next court appearance and yada yada. The rest is history. But the long story short there is they scared me out of the industry. Obviously, the industry wasn't legal yet, but they scared me out. I got into renewable energy. I installed and designed solar panel systems, rooftop residential solar systems. And then I moved out west about 7 years ago now. I moved out west, and of course, the landscape out in BC was slightly different in terms of cannabis. The British Columbia, for people that don't know, the province used to have a program where retailers could operate effectively legally under the provincial government, not under the federal government, but legally under the British Columbia government, specifically in the name of medical dispensaries. So I worked there as a bud tender. I was a store manager, and then that place closed ahead of cannabis legalization. I worked with a former LP. I got to do some field sales and meet a lot of cool people and travel around BC. I got laid off from that job as well when COVID kind of took effect. But I stayed tight with everybody, and I got snatched up by my current employer, Decibel. So I got to then do some field sales and interact with retailers across the province of BC. A lot of cool travel, a lot of time in the mountains. And then my partner and I, my wife and I, moved back east to Ontario last September ahead of the birth of our daughter in January. And we wanted to be closer to family. This is where family is. So I'm now kicking it in Seaforth, Ontario, about half an hour away from Stratford. If anyone is in Stratford anytime, say what's up. A lovely little town. Go to Revel Bakery, the best fruit danishes, the best croissants in the whole freaking world. I'm a sucker for pastries, and these pastries are world class. I can just say that without a doubt.
Be careful with the croissant.
Oh, I mean, clearly you know a croissant better than anybody else. So one day, my friend, when you're out east, when you're in Ontario, I'll take you for what I think is one of the best croissants I've ever had. But we'll save that for another day. We digress. I'm sure as cannabis consumers, we could talk about food all fucking day.
Oh yes, I'm sure we can.
Um, so with that said, I became our head of education. I get to, proliferate this product knowledge stuff. I get to, meet and greet and chat and effectively act as a bit of a hype man for Decibel, get into the nitty gritty, the technical details and all that fun stuff. So I do like to remind people, I like feedback. I like to interact. My email address, my phone number is on the screen in front of you. My Instagram handle. I have two effective Instagram accounts that I run in terms of cannabis. So my Canna Cupboard is like my personal cannabis account, and then I run the Decibel.education Instagram account as well. So please feel free to reach out, email, text, phone, Instagram, whatever you want to do. Happy to interact. And then, so last, I'll catch myself up, and then we'll move on from me and get right into the actual content here. But in January, our little baby daughter was born, and I removed myself from work for about 8.5 months or so. A big privilege to be able to do so. My wife and I worked hard for that plan. It's a safe space. I like to share. I think awareness is important. We had a few miscarriages leading up to the birth of our daughter. It was a long 2 years, really painful, really difficult, really scary, and a lot of hope, prevailed. And on January 11th this past year, this tiny little beautiful baby, Amira, was born at home like we planned with the support of a couple midwives and our doula. She's my little sweetie. I do like my work, but she's the best gig I've ever had in my life. I get to hang out with her regularly. Two of my, favorite photos. One is her smiling dorkily along with me, this past summer. And then the one on the right is just taken a couple days ago. She's now eating and enjoying lots of cool things. There she is, mowing down on some chocolate yogurt and looking so cheeky and adorable about it, to say the least. But I'm back. I'm back to work. I came back early October, so I'm here. I get to represent again. I'm so happy to be back in touch with all of you. Thank you for joining up. And then let's get into this side of it. So let's start our journey here with Decibel. This is where we got started. So we started in Creston, British Columbia. This building that you see in front of you here on the screen is affectionately dubbed the QWEST Cannabis Estate. This is where we really cut our teeth growing cannabis. There are 10 small batch grow rooms in there. As you can see, it's a very picturesque, picture perfect background for an indoor grow facility in the interior of BC. A lot of smart, capable, wonderful people who also grow at home themselves. We've got the culture is alive and well in the company, and it's lovely to see it, lovely to interact with these folks. So a lot of our flower is coming out of there. That's the QWEST Cannabis Estate. But we also have Thunderchild cultivation, which is where another portion of our flower comes from. So all your QWEST is either coming from the QWEST Cannabis Estate or from Thunderchild. Thunderchild is a dope partnership. So this is a partnership between Decibel Cannabis, my employer, and Thunderchild First Nation. It's on Thunderchild land, and a number of employees are community members as well. Really rad partnership, really beautiful expertise that goes into growing what they're growing there. They've dialed it in. I've visited this facility. It is glorious. It is beautiful. I know a lot of you have been to, an indoor grow facility. The smell, the light, the passion that goes on, the excitement that goes on. So at this particular building, we're growing in double the amount of grow rooms. So we have 20 small batch grow rooms here. A lot of beautiful flowers coming out of this facility as well. And then lastly, kind of irrelevant for today's session, but we also have the plant. The plant is our third facility in Calgary. This is effectively our derivative facility. So, your general admission infused pre-rolls, your blinker pods and batteries, your 510 carts, and all of those extracted products that we put in the market. It's all coming out of here, the plant in Calgary, Alberta. A little bit just to kind of remind you or catch you up, or if anyone is new to this, folks that don't know, we have a mission like a lot of companies do, and our mission is to deliver an ultimate expression of cannabis by empowering consumers in their need for transparency, for choice, and for meaningful innovation. Really proud of what we're doing behind the scenes, and we're all very open about what it is that we're doing, where our cuts are coming from, the cultivars that we're growing, how we're growing it. Knowledge is power, as we like to say. So really proud of that element as well. And of course, goes without saying, really proud of the people that I get to work with. We grind, we work hard, we craft, we put a lot of work into this. We care, we really value and care about feedback and what our product looks like and tastes like and smells like and smokes like. And of course, we're continuing to grow and elevate and move forward through this as we do. So couple dope shots of that QWEST Cannabis estate. And I've got a little video. Some of you may have seen it before, but I got a short 20-30 second here video just to get your whistle wet of some of the flower that is grown in these facilities. Love it. Gets me excited every time. I hope the music came through, and if it didn't, then I was just dancing to myself. But either way, it sounds like I see some thumbs up. I see some okay symbols, so I appreciate that. Just a very quick, behind the scenes of what it is that we're doing. These are our 4, let's call it pillars of craft for us. This is how we grow. We grow with small batch in mind. Top cuts are packed into your jars. This is all hand-trimmed cannabis and hang-dried cannabis. So, I'll very quickly kind of breeze through, but I feel like they're pretty self-explanatory for a community like this. Small batch, we are growing one particular cultivar per room. We are growing about 800 to 1,000 plants per room, depending on the room. That is considered small batch. It gives us the ability to attend to literally each and every plant with human hands and human eyes. And, we're growing with this meticulous approach where we really take care of each and every single plant. Naturally goes without saying, every cultivar, every strain needs a different set of inputs, whether it's lights or nutrients or what have you. So that small batch approach means that we know that grape cream cake is going to be grown differently from PS Cheetah, differently grown from, Emergency, differently grown from Duct Tape, what have you. So that's small batch. I'll kind of jump to the end because it's not entirely in that order, but hang dried goes without saying. Hang drying your cannabis is so important. We worked hard to grow that flower. We worked hard to protect the quality of those trichomes. Of course, we're going to hang dry. We want those buds to have good airflow when they're drying. We want those trichomes to stay intact. I used to work for another company where we would often lay the flower down in weird layers on top of like a mesh screen, and you're risking breaking some trichomes. You're risking flattening a whole side of the bud or what have you. So this we found, a lot of research goes into this. A lot of people grow with this approach. Hang drying is the best to protect the integrity, the quality of your cannabis. You worked hard to grow it. You should probably work hard to dry it and to cure it as well. Hand trimming. Yeah, no cutting corners, buddy. I know. Again, used to work for a company that I think things dried in about 3 days because it was a slightly dehydrator room. You don't want to force that. You don't want to speed that up or anything. We dry our flower in about 7 to 10 days, naturally dry. Some might need closer to 7, some might need closer to 10 or even 11. And we go in and literally check the stems every day, and we only pull it once they're actually done drying. Then we hand trim. Goes without saying, the same kind of thing. A lot of product that you might find on the market will be trimmed in a bit of a machine. It might be like a barrel with a blade at the bottom. There are some, more benign ones, but the most benign one, the most effective one is your your scissors, not these little baby scissors, but proper trimmers. So of course, trimming by hand is so important for the quality cannabis that we're trying to put out in market. Kind of goes without saying, I think, as well. We cure as well, then, for you about 30 days, anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes a little bit more. Curing is important too, obviously, for a number of reasons. The shelf life of your cannabis is increased if you cure it properly. Your aroma, your terpenes on the nose are going to be a lot more pronounced and strong and concentrated if you cure it properly. So basically, once it's all trimmed, we then put it in these big metal containers. They're called Sea Vault. That's the brand. It's where how I store a lot of my leftover food in my fridge as well. But these are much, much bigger than the small little baby sandwich container that I've got. And we put all of our trimmed bud in there. We burp it every day for the first week. Then we burp it every other day or so for the remaining 3 to 4 weeks or so. And we know now that our flower, our buds are nice and sticky, icky. The aroma is there. The moisture content is on, and curing is a big part of that process as well. And then very last is top cuts. Your plant, of course, produces buds all over it. I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. A lot of the top layer generally does have a bit of a higher resin production. Those buds are often a little bit like denser and stickier and just nicer. So we'll go through our full, trimmed flower, our full cured flower, and we'll effectively hand pick the buds that go into your 1/8 jar, that go into your ounces, what have you. So now we know that this is picked. We're like literally going through it and removing some of those fat buds from the stem. I used to be one of those consumers that I loved like my 1/8, or if you're Ontario, your half-quarter bud. Used to love that, like the single cola, until I slowly started. I have a scale around here. I like weigh all my weed. I will smoke a little bit and I'll weigh what's left. I always want to know like what I'm working with. So I found that, that dope 1/8 cola usually resulted in like a 1/2 gram of stem left in the bottom of my jar, which then kind of reminded me like, oh, maybe I don't want that one cola. So we take that potential cola and we'll literally manually remove the top cuts, the buds, and put that in your jar, disposing of that big fat stem kind of on your behalf. So that's what we're doing here. That's our process. That's our handcrafted process. A couple of other quick notes. Our lights, again, really open and transparent, and I feel like it's important to be. So our lights, we're using a combination of LED and metal halide if we're doing it for veg, or LED and high pressure sodium, HPS if we're using for flowering. Metal halide expresses a blue spectrum of light, and vegging plants love their blues. LED and high pressure sodium, HPS, expresses on the red spectrum of light, and your flowering plants prefer the red spectrum when they're flowering. A couple of other things. We are growing in cocoa. It's cocoa coir. It's basically dehydrated coconut husk, a fairly renewable resource. Does not have any nutrients in the actual cocoa. This is used as a stabilizing, medium for the roots to make the plants grow nice and big and strong. And our nutrients are mostly coming from Remo. Remo is kicking it out west in Vancouver. If you've ever been to like a Lift Expo or any other conference, you know Remo. Remo's there with his big fat sunglasses, his nice handlebar mustache, and usually a couple of big joints in his mouth. Go say what's up to Remo. Smoke joints with that guy. He is absolutely delightful. What a gem of a human. And again, where we're procuring our nutrients from. One main thing, honestly, if there's anything else that I want to shout out on this one slide, it's the fact that our pest control, we do not spray pesticides. We're using entirely biologic pest control methods. Once again, no chemicals. Think, for example, releasing some ladybugs if there's an aphid development. Those ladybugs swoop in, they eat all the aphids, and they move on. They do not compromise the quality of the flower. If anything, what really would compromise it would be, spraying chemicals and pesticides and all that. So we do not do that. Entirely biologic pest control. Really proud of that element too. I already talked about curing, but very quickly, after it's trimmed, our flower is cured in those big fat metal containers. We burp for CO2. It allows us to bring the moisture content exactly where we want it, anywhere between 10 and 12%. It allows the terpene content to really be defined and concentrated. And of course, curing properly increases the shelf life of your cannabis as well. If it's not cured, it usually kind of goes bad and stale a little bit sooner. If it's properly cured, it can last a little bit longer in that jar on your shelf. until you smoke it all, which you might smoke sooner than later if it's properly cured because it's more delicious and enticing, and the cycle continues. And then lastly is testing. This is entirely third-party tested for, transparent numbers in terms of THC and other cannabinoids, in terms of our terpene content, all third-party lab tested. Really proud of that element as well. So that's behind the scenes. Let's get into some products. Of course, I'm here to really highlight our PS Cheetah. You all may know it as Cheetah Piss. I'm not going to shy away. Some marketing goes into this stuff too. People might not totally appreciate Cheetah Piss. I know all of you do because you know that strain, you know that cultivar. It clearly has the name because of like this beautiful ammonia that comes off of it. Anyways, it's PS Cheetah and Duct Tape. Those are the two newest that are absolutely killer, and I'm excited to share about. But I have to shout out a couple of current ones that are available, as well as two of my favorites here. So Bubble Bath is one of the faves. It's the soap crossed with Project 4516. It's beautiful. It's soapy, like noticeably has this beautiful soap coming off of it. Really delicious, really earthy and enjoyable. And then I have to shout out our grape cream cake, which is not actually available in market anymore. I still have a couple grams left myself. It's creamy. It's so damn good. And I had to shout out the fact that this past Karma Cup, we took third place. I'm not gonna argue that. There's some beautiful flower that took first and second place, but Grape Cream Cake by QWEST took third place prize in terms of indica flower over at the Karma Cup this past summer. Really proud of that. Really grateful for that community as well. They can analyze some solid cannabis, so to be on this list is definitely a point of pride for sure. Let's get into this. So PS Cheetah, again, affectionately called PS Cheetah. The true cultivar is known as Cheetah Piss, but we are going with PS Cheetah for this one. This is lemonade crossed with Gelato 42, crossed with London Pound Cake. This is particularly enjoyable. We've got a couple. We've got this and Duct Tape that are new. They're both great, but they're both really important for me for different reasons. This Cheetah Piss or PS Cheetah is so happy and uplifting. And honestly, if you even go and check it out on Leafly, one of the common notes of effect is that it's arousing as well. I do find that it's happy and you feel good about yourself. You know what I'm saying? The aroma here is citrusy, it's gassy, and that ammonia just pops. That beautiful, for lack of a better term, piss smell comes off, and it is highly sought after. I find it weird too when you're talking about it like that. Cannabis consumers are fucking weird. We're like, oh man, it's gassy. No one else is like, oh, I want my food, I want my wine to be gassy. We like our gassy products. We like our pee smelling products, apparently. I dig it. I'm here for it. I do like it. It does smell kind of like pee, with a sweetness too, with a lemony too. But I'm in. I'm sold. The flavor here on this one is beautiful, creamy. It's fruity. It's a bit funky. And then your top terpenes on this guy are caryophyllene, limonene, and humulene. Big fan of this PS Cheetah. Super happy. Super smooth and tasty. This is probably one of the favorite, and actually I know you had a toke a little while back. This is probably one of the favorite products coming out under QWEST in quite a while. I am so proud of the team, so proud of this product, and I can't wait for you all to try it as well. I wanted to include a couple notes from behind the scenes, especially from our growers at the facility. I reached out. I was like, can you share me some fun facts a little bit? I had to include these beautiful pictures taken by Craig Barker. If you're familiar with his photographic skills, he does a lot of great work in the industry here, in the community. Just look at those creamy trichomes. Look at that frosty bud. Really proud of those pictures. But to draw your attention over to the left-hand side, I'll just read out the quote here, but I was shared this just a couple days ago from our team of growers. So the last 2 weeks of flowering, we dropped the temperature a few degrees to mimic a cool October climate, and the plants turn a beautiful purple hue. I fucking love that. I think that's amazing that they figured that out, they know that, and that they're really going along with what naturally occurs in the environment, maybe encouraging it. This might have grown in the summertime, so obviously the temperature hasn't dropped, but to encourage to mimic that element here. It smells so citrusy and lemony in the room, and then I love this part of it. You would think like this, the flower, and I'm preaching to the choir here. That the aroma changes, the flavor changes, all that good stuff. The ammonia or the piss nose doesn't actually develop until the last couple days of drying, and then it really comes out when it's curing. I love how that happens. I love cannabis for that reason, how it changes, it flows, it evolves, I guess, just literally through its life cycle, and then even past its life cycle through the drying stage, through the curing stage. That to me is so rad. So obviously that speaks to, the beauty that this plant is, how it's so susceptible and related to its environment, the terroir, so to speak. Some really cool stuff there. Let's get into duct tape. Just a few pieces of information similar. I got some grower's notes here and some dope pictures to share with you, and then we'll move on and maybe play a little quiz, a little survey at the end, and award some prizes here. So this guy here is GG4 Gorilla Glue number 4 crossed with Dosey Dose. If you've ever tried GG4 unto itself, what a beautiful cultivar. I get this like warmth. I'm a sucker for like a honey nut beer, and I find GG4 has that like almost that nutty warmth to it. That and Love Potion are like two of my all-time favorite cultivars. So happy and uplifting and enjoyable. So that's the GG4. And then Dosey Dose, it also has this like chocolatey, almost lemoniness to it. A beautiful cultivar unto itself as well. So of course we got this beautiful cross. GG4 cross with Dosey Dose is our duct tape. Duct tape presents quite like duct tape. So the aroma here is quite earthy, quite gassy, and this like almost, I'm gonna say glue, but this almost like rubber comes off the nose. And again, what a weird thing that I'm like excited about the fact that it smells like fucking duct tape, that it smells like rubber. Anyways, it is delightful. It's this rubbery, gluey, earthy gassiness going on. That duct tape is fire. Flavor wise, as I mentioned, there's like a nuttiness, a chocolatiness, some spice. This is just a beautiful cultivar. I find this one is probably a bit more relaxing, a bit more sedating for me. It's a better one to kind of relax at the end of the day, whereas my PS Cheetah is a lovely one for like daytime happiness and ready to go-ness. The duct tape for me is definitely an evening time variety. Puts a little bit of a shit-eating grin and maybe a shit-eating yawn on my face as well. Top terps in this guy are limonene, caryophyllene, and myrcene. The order actually, I believe, is flipped. Myrcene might be the top terp in here, but just a little edit to make for next time. But that duct tape is absolutely delightful. Really, really encourage you guys checking that one out too. And here are some lovely stories behind the scenes, some growers' notes. Without opening your eyes while you walk in the room, you're in the presence of Dosey Dose. There's something so unique about it. It is that like nuttiness, that chocolatiness. It holds that note through the curing stage, but just like ripping off a fresh piece of duct tape, you get that Gorilla Glue smell as soon as you start trimming. It's funny that these were the notes. I remember back in the day, a friend of mine grew Gorilla Glue that's a mouthful. Gorilla Glue 4. There we go. I said it. You just gotta slow it down sometimes.
So fun.
Gorilla Glue 4. Yeah, buddy. He grew some. Again, a beautiful aroma while it was growing. I got to hang out in the room, and then I went back a few weeks later to help with the trim, and that like glue, that rubber like came right off. But I didn't notice that when I was in the grow room and it was freshly growing. So it's wild to see how things change, again, through the life cycle and then after the life cycle of the plant. But what a beautiful, beautiful flower. That picture is just glorious. Those trichomes are cloudy and perfect. Really, really proud of this cultivar as well. So those, my friends, are the two new news. If you've tried them, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. If you have yet to try them, I hope you do. At least I know that 9 of you come a couple weeks from now will definitely get to try some because I have some prizes here. But with that said, if you're not one of the recipients and you see this shit in store, I do recommend them. They are highly worth it. That, my friends, is QWEST. This is the Budtenders Association. I'm stoked. I'm happy to be here, as you can
Thank
tell.
you so much, Ethan. That was amazing, super informative. You guys have killer pictures, killer video, like the tricom shots are like I'm diving into there, I'm swimming, I'm playing with them. It's beauty. It's beautiful. And I love duct tape. I haven't tried yours, guys, but I love that cultivar in general. I know some people that grow it too. I love that like gluey, gassy, rubbery. So I'm looking forward to try that one for sure. Very
Love it,
looking forward.
Axel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
That's very, very, very exciting. Someone in the chat during the presentation asked, who do you use for the testing? You say you use a third party. Is this an information you can share?
Yeah. We use High North.
High North. Oh yeah, it's one of the most reputable and one of the biggest.
One of the most reputable and common. I know a lot of LPs do utilize because they are one of the best.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, that looks so killer. And yeah, to come back to that smell thing, it's definitely, you know, that when it dries and it cures, that conversion on all the volatile compound that change and our receptor like start receiving differently. And that's what I love, you know. It's like when sometimes, you know, you just trim, you put in a jar and you come back a week after you open that jar and you're like, that's not the weed I trimmed. It's so like unique. And yeah, I love that.
It's really cool, the evolution of it too. I mean, even like speaking to the dropping the temperature a little bit and then like the purple hue comes through. What a cool and unique property of a plant that not only does it do that naturally, but like that we can kind of encourage it, that it can change because of that. And then I love how you said that, you know, like I'm a sucker for like opening up a jar when it's fresh, going back to it. I'm a relatively like I'm a regular consumer, but you know, I like to partake slowly and like intentionally. So sometimes an eighth might last me a week or two or longer. And I'm also, you know, intermingling with other eighths and other products. I'm a big fan of rosin these days too. So I like to ebb and flow with what I'm consuming. But I love coming back to a jar after like 2 or 3 weeks and like, not that it's necessarily like worse, but that it's different. I love that. I love how it changes. And what a beautiful plant. I mean, shit, we're all clearly here for it. So I respect that. I love that.
Very true. Very true. And then someone asked, when is it going to be available in BC? And I'm just going to expand the question, which province going to have what?
Yeah, great question. So this should be both of these should be available everywhere. The PS Cheetah is already available in BC. If the duct tape isn't, it hopefully should be soon. I know that they're both now available in Ontario, Alberta as well. If people are chiming in from Saskatchewan and Manitoba, those products, I believe at least the PS Cheetah should already be available. Perhaps the duct tape is a little bit slower to market, but it should be available in like most markets effectively sooner than later, if they're not yet.
Awesome. That's awesome. Distribution-wide, that's beautiful because you're going to have so much feedback and I'm sure you're going to have a pretty good feedback. I did try the Cheetah piece and yeah, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, buddy. I did a lit research event celebrating the 5-year anniversary of legal cannabis. Of course, hey, by the way, happy 5 years, everybody. That's a trip, what a dream. So I was at Lit in Toronto a couple weeks ago, and we got to do like a big, nice educational research and development session, and the feedback was so rad. I should have included some of the little snapshots that I got, but the feedback on the PS Cheetah especially was all like A++. People really vibed on and loved the duct tape too. I think because it was a more of a social event, as I mentioned, that PS Cheetah is like uplifting and engaging, so people were really just happy and enjoying themselves and lingered, and yeah, a lot of fun to again, I told you back in the day I used to be the one hooking my friends up in high school, so what a treat to get to see shit-eating grins, you know, big smiles on people's faces. David Baker, I'm appreciating you, man. I love the interaction and the engagement. It's rad. I love to I like seeing people do their thing and people are excited here. Jared, your token. Oh, what a dude. Well done, buddy.
You have Jeff Gordon who was at the event too, so
yeah. Nice.
That's amazing. And so now we're gonna speak about that quiz. So I believe you have some pretty crazy prizes for today.
Yeah, buddy. Let me just quickly open up my email here so that I can see exactly what it is. Oh, let me just close this a little bit. All right. I just needed a fresh reminder here. So so first and foremost, because I think like these are prizes too, I've got 6 parcels that I'm going to pack up with educational materials, maybe a little bit of Quest flour, maybe some edibles under general admission. If you've yet to try those gummies, they are absolutely killer. But I'll pack up 6 parcels of educational material. Those are, let's call it 4 through 9, because I have 1 through 3, like as in first place, second place, third place. I have some especially gnarly prizes. Those 3 placing winners will also get a parcel of educational materials. But in addition to that, I'm going to go maybe from third place down to first place just for fun. Third place here, we've got a 15-inch curved engraved cherry wood pipe by Shire Pipes. It's one of those like dope, long, Gandalf style pipes that you've seen in every store. You know what I'm talking about?
It's the Gandalf pipe, yes. Let me see
pipe, buddy.
If I can find a picture somewhere.
Yeah, please. Let me see if I can I just like copy and paste? Will this work? Dude, I think it did. All right, there we go. So there we go. That's our
it's
Gandalf.
In the chat for everyone. In the chat, you can see.
There's our Gandalf pipe. I've always eyed one of those. I've always wanted one myself. But what's better than buying something for yourself? It's so much more enjoyable to buy something for someone else. So third place winner, my friends, is going to get that dope pipe along with some educational materials.
Try the pipe, of course.
Of course. I mean, it goes without saying. Like I expect that's the way you'll consume. Next prize is this clear globe bubbler by one of my favorite glass, more generic, not like specialty glass companies, Grav. So if you check this guy out, just popped right in the chat. Sick globe bubbler. Love the design. It's got like percolators all around the bottom. What a sexy design. I'm a fan of that one. Cool. So that'll be second place. And then I am a huge fan of dry herb vaporizing. Big, sucker for that volcano. I've got a PAX, like an old school PAX. It still works like a charm. Really want one of those new venties under Stores and Bickle. That looks pretty rad. But I'm a big fan of the dry herb vape. I don't smoke as much as I used to. I do still there's something luxurious and so exciting about like rolling a joint and sparking a joint and like smoking a joint. I love it. But dry herb vaping for me is really a bit more of like a wholesome experience. I feel like I feel the cultivar. I feel like I feel the sensation when I'm smoking. Sometimes I get a little like dopey and foggy, and I feel like it's a bit of like that like almost oxygen deprivation is part of the effect. Whereas like I can taste the weed, I can feel the weed when I'm dry herb vaping. Nothing but love to smoking. I still smoke, but I'm just shouting out the merits, the benefits of dry herb vaping. So I love it. I see someone just popped in the chat that they love their volcano. What a fucking sick tool. I would argue. So I've consumed like a balloon, 3 balloons in a row, whatever, of a volcano. I would argue I get higher from like a bag or 2 bags off a volcano than I do from a big fat joint. The feeling is just more real, and I get more intoxicated, let's call it. It's more nuanced. I like that. Yeah, well said. So anyways, with that said, first place prize is the Arizer Solo 2 Vaporizer. Comes in black. I have tried one of these myself in the past. I have a number of friends that this is their vape of choice. So really excited about that. I'm pumped to get these items into some people's hands tonight.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna just explain the way it's gonna work to win those. We're gonna have a quiz, and it's gonna be the people that answer the right question, and then the people that answer the right question the fastest. So be ready when we're gonna be doing the quiz. Be ready on your computer, on your keyboard, on your phone, because it's gonna be fast, and then of course being the right answer. And then you have a bit more prizes. You can keep going, Eitan.
No, yeah, so that's it. So I got those 3 with educational materials.
Oh, yes.
And then 4th place through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 through 9th place. That's a lot of prizes. Holy shit. Did I just blow my budget for the rest of the year? No, I'm just fucking around. I got 6 more kits of straight educational material. No dope paraphernalia in there. But this is some tasty things to treat you well.
For sure. So everyone, there is a lot of prizes. So make sure to participate and be as fast as you can because there is some really cool prize. I really
Cassie, I
want that prize.
appreciate you over there, by the way. Cassie, aka 519 Grow Girl. I see you giggling. I see you smoking. What a good group of people.
That's
Nick, I dig your
amazing.
style too. I've seen your smiles. Oh man, what a fun crew. I love it. Well done, Casey. Well done, Axel.
All right. Do we have any other question before I start the quiz? Is there anything you want to add before I start the quiz, Ethan?
You know what? The only thing I'll say is it's supposed to be like a simple quiz. I said like all the shit that exists in this, like everything that I said is in the quizzes, I think. I can't remember if I took this one out. Maybe if it's in, because I don't think I said. So QWEST originally started as Quintessentially West. That was the name of QWEST. If that's one of the questions, I can't remember. I made the questions last week. If that's one of the questions, you're welcome. Mazel tov, you just got one of the answers. But all the other answers, because I was like, I don't think I said that earlier in the presentation, and I don't
You didn't
want
say
anyone
it.
chiming and be like, yo, he didn't say that. That's not cool. I gotta be honorable here. But everything else is very straightforward. I would have mentioned it directly or in passing in the presentation. So get your fingers ready. You know, the fastest draw wins, as Axel mentioned. But you know, I'm around. There's way more prizes to be had. If not today, they'll win something soon. Oh, I guess I'll quickly drop that we'll be back together on December 21st, Thursday, December 21st.
Just before Christmas. Perfect.
Right before Christmas, we're going to hang out together. It's going to be like a bit more of a general decibel hangout. I'm going to present about a few products that I'm currently enjoying under general admission or Vox Pops or QWEST. It'll be a bit of more of a community appreciation. If there's anybody out there that like plays really good music or wants to show off some kind of art, I'm just toying with this idea now. Maybe we'll set aside 10 minutes of like open mic. I know that we have a lot of creative people in this community. Anyways, it's going to be community appreciation, so we get to hang out Thursday, December 21st, 7:20 p.m. Eastern.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to this one. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, people, are you ready? I'm going to be launching the pool right now. Let's go. Everyone can see it, I hope. Yes, I think it started.
Okay, good. I'm glad I said that one.
Yes, I'm glad you said it too.
So I'm gonna have to just shout out, like, I'm really proud of, creating fake answers is like really kind of hard. So I like that I put in what does QWEST stand for, and I know that this is probably just messing with people because you're all focused, so don't listen to me. But qualitatively Western, quality weed equals straight terps. Come on, that's kind of clever. I like this one. QWEST stands for Quantum Wizardry Established. Like, what does that even mean? Nobody knows, but it's catchy.
Very innovative. I love it.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you.
That's amazing. I'm even looking at the cross you invented and everything. They're great.
Let's do that. Can we lead into that for a sec? PS Cheetah, is it Tony crossed with the tiger?
Tiger.
Is it Limoncello crossed with toffee pudding, which I gotta say sounds delicious?
That sounds amazing.
Is it Felix crossed with ammonia? I don't know. It might be. Scotch tape number 4. Come on, that shit is clever.
It's genius.
Oh, how dumb. I love it. Zachary says, thank you, love this. Lauren is having fun. Pete's having a good time, always awesome. I got all the smiley faces.
Thank you, Pete.
I got the celebrations.
Amazing.
This is so rad.
All right, so nice. We have 32 people that answered so far. So I'm gonna leave a few minutes.
Shouts out to Pete for his December 20th birthday.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing, Pete. I hope you can join. We'll have a special blazing joint for you.
Quintessentially QWEST. Dope.
That's awesome.
How fun.
Yeah.
How fun. We have fun. We're people. We have a good time, right? Why not? Everyone takes everything so seriously. Yeah, there you go, Dave. Well done, buddy.
All right.
Lester, I'm digging your hat. You got one of those limited edition general admission toques. I didn't even get a toque. They didn't even give me a toque.
No, Leicester has all the best swag all the time, you know.
Every
It's
time
all
I
the
see
time.
them, I'm like, why? Who? How? Connections.
She's the one. She got all the best,
damn.
all the VIP swag always for Leicester.
So cool. Menu board boy, I'm digging the artwork on the wall behind you. That is sick. Yeah.
All right, and we have 35 people who participated. I opened the wrong one. I'm gonna be closing the pool right now. Up, and it is done. That was amazing. For the result, please check your email. It will be announced on social media and by email in the next couple of days, I believe, and then be ready to receive some really cool prizes. I'm really excited, and be on the look for the flower, because I believe it's getting available pretty much at any time soon on every market.
No doubt, you know how it is. When I'm notified of the winners, it'll take me a few days to like source and pack up everything. So no stress, everything will be delivered. I am a man of my word. It probably won't be like first thing next week, but I bet by the time, and getting close to the holidays, the post office is a little bit slammed, but either way, within the next week or two, anyone who wins, which again, as Axel mentioned, you'll be notified. Check out the Budtenders Association Instagram account. It'll be posted up. Everything will be in the mail by the end of next week, so you should receive it the following week at the latest. But naturally, and I'm just going to throw it in the chat one more time, connect with me. If you have any questions, follow-ups, if you're working retail and you have not been connected to your Decibel territory manager, let me make sure that I make the proper introduction. We're proud of our flower. We're proud of our products. We're really proud of our customer service, our ability to connect and support and educate, if you feel me. So I'm always happy to be in touch.
That's amazing. And I can attest, Eitan is killing it, and all the team over there. Megan was killing it, and he's still killing it in Alberta. You guys have a beautiful team, from the marketing to the grow to the education. I followed you since a bit now, Eitan, and I've seen what you've done. So really congrats to all you guys have achieved. It's amazing.
Appreciate you, my friend. You too. Holy shit, a man of so many hats. You've been all around. You're doing big things in this industry. You know that like everybody knows you, eh? If I'm talking to people out here and I'm like, oh yeah, Budtenders Association book club, they're like, Axel? So yeah, you're well known too, buddy.
Thank you so much appreciated. And do we have any last question in the chat? I think we are pretty good. So thank you so much, Casey, for organizing that. Thank you so much, Eitan. Your energy is amazing. The presentation was great. I can't wait to go and try those flowers in the market, see how they do. Thank you everyone for joining. As usual, it's an amazing time. Thanks for the engagement. Thanks. That was awesome, and I'm pretty sure I will see you very soon, you all. And any last word, Eitan?
All I gotta say is big love. I know that some days are harder than other days. I know that a lot of you are working, retail, and some days, some shifts are harder than other shifts. A friendly reminder, for what it's worth, we sell weed for a living. What a rad thing that we all get to do for the most part. And if we don't, I respect that life ebbs and flows, and where there's no valleys, there's no peaks, and vice versa. So a lot of love for you all. Stay safe. Be good to the people around you. Tell people you love them. You know how it is. You know how to be good. Be good.
Very true. Thank you for those words. And thank you so much, everyone. Big love. And we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Big love, friends. Be well.
Thanks,
Peace.
everyone. Great to see you. And Eitan, look forward to catching up with you again on December 21st. It's going to be epic.
Can't wait.
Let's do some planning.
100%. Peace, everybody.
Axel.
Big love.
Bye-bye.